The United States is receiving help from some of its allies in the Middle East. Let's bring in now my colleague, political correspondent Cam Redden. Cam, interesting, I spoke to Ted O'Brien, the Shadow Foreign Minister, earlier. We touched on the fact that Britain, while not supportive or involved in the initial strikes, have pivoted to provide support via their bases now. What's Australia doing?
Yeah, so Australia not speculating on any role that it might play. Kieran, of course, at this stage, Australia did not play any role in the strikes over the weekend. There has not been a request to do so. President Trump, though, earlier today, and we learnt this through the Prime Minister of Britain, Keir Starmer, in a statement that he posted earlier, the United States did make a request to use British bases to launch strikes that they call defensive strikes on Iran's missile stockpiles and missile launches. There would be no further offensive action, says the British Prime Minister, but he believes that this is an extraordinary circumstance where in the past Britain had not allowed the US to use its bases in any way to do this against Iran. This time he believes that it is appropriate action. While he's concerned about the prospect of further conflict, Britain is now allowing some of its bases to be used by the United States.
The United States has requested permission to use British bases for that specific and limited defensive purpose. We have taken the decision to accept this request. The basis of our decision is the collective self-defence of long-standing friends and allies.
Australia has around 100 personnel in the region. Most of those are stationed at an airbase in the United Arab Emirates. For now, though, the government stresses that there is no Australian involvement. There has also been no request for involvement or assistance like there has been with the UK.
We've taken measures in respect of the safety of all of those Australian personnel, and all of them are accounted for. I'm not in the habit of speculating that this is an action that's being undertaken by the US and Israel, and leave it at that.
The other focus for the government here, Kieran, is the civilian aspect. Around 115,000 Australians in the region travelling through, stationed there, living there, working there. There are efforts ongoing to ensure those remain safe, obviously going into a quite uncertain period.
Yeah, so the different facets, aren't there? You've got whether there's a military question, you've got those residents and those that might be already in the region travelling, tourists in transient positions, but unfortunately caught up in what is a real mess in those hubs of Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, hundreds of flights go through there every day, Kieran. There have been several cancellations from Virgin, for example. Qatar can't get in or out. The airspace is shut there. And the government's saying too that at this stage it's too difficult to do repatriation flights. But should that airspace open up in coming days, they're not ruling that out. Should then be a greater need to bring Australians out of danger.
And finally, before I let you go, the Parliament's back this week, and this comes ahead of Mark Carney's visit, which is timely, isn't it, given his recent intervention at Davos, where he spoke about the need for middle powers to coordinate, work together as the global rules have fractured.
Yeah, he spoke about the rupture in the global order of major powers doing one thing, but also there being a need to more strongly align middle powers like Australia, like Canada, like allied nations, not breaking ranks with the United States, but working more closely together as middle powers to preserve that peace as well. So Thursday is his major address, will be a significant moment, particularly given this new conflict.
Yeah, very timely indeed. The Canadian Prime Minister in town. Cam Redden, thank you.